Hugh Freeze is killing the transfer portal. Welcome on into the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report. I'm your host, Mike G, and thank you so much for joining us today. Joining me, as he always does every single week, is my guy, Kyle Rush, to talk a little Auburn recruiting news. Kyle, they're doing a phenomenal job in the portal right now. Now, they recently had the number one portal class. Some things happened, but Auburn is killing it in the portal right now. I want to talk about the defensive side of the ball here. Hugh Freeze is giving DJ Durkin some more toys to play with here. Starting with Ryan Strader, the defensive back. What do you got on Ryan Strader?
Yeah, so you got a sophomore, upcoming junior, who played. He's a starter at Miami of Ohio. A guy that they picked on last year a lot, and he rose to the occasion. More often than not. I think he had over 100 passes thrown his way, and he had 17 pass deflections. Look, you didn't need a ton at defensive back. I feel like you got some really, really talented guys. So it's not like you had to go out and find a dude. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't need that guy to come in and take over in the DB room. You just needed a guy who could be, hey, maybe I'm either at the level or maybe just a little bit behind the guys that are going to be the starters, but there won't be such a huge drop off if you got to switch out, give some guys some rest, a guy gets injured, really, really raises the floor of that room. And to me, that was the goal. That was the goal to me of the DB pursuit in the portal. You don't need the dude. You just need to raise the floor. And to me, they singled this guy out right off the bat. Like, who would have even thought that this is a guy that you would target? They obviously had a bullseye on him early, got him in, and like the theme so far, got him in first, got him signed before he even leaves campus, or not. Maybe he did leave. It was shortly after he left. Got him signed, announced it. I think it's a huge addition. It's exactly what you needed. Exactly what you needed for this defensive back room.
I've been doing my download with Auburn players post-season, and the overwhelming consensus is that DJ Durkin is a fantastic coach. He's doing a phenomenal job with these guys. Development is happening at a high level on that side of the ball. Guys are chomping at the bit to be coached by these guys. So I thought that the secondary showed a lot of promise. Now, Keontae Scott had a rough year.
Sure.
And you've got to find some guys to replace that. He projected to be an experienced guy that will provide a lot of a safe floor there. And I think the floor went a little lower than they thought, but they're going back to the drawing board and trying to fill with guys. So Ryan Strader projects to be a guy who could maybe contribute when you rotate guys on defense here. Moving along here.
Before you move on really quick, another thing about him, he's got 2 years left. Okay. So you expect Kay and Lee to more than likely project pretty high in this next draft, in the 2026 draft. So now after he's gone, you may have a senior guy being able to step in. It's a really cool piece that fits, to me. It fits really perfectly in what they're trying to do in that defensive back room. I really like the addition.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're recording this, Auburn lands a big commit in Xavier Atkins.
Boom.
Boom. Xavier Atkins, a linebacker from LSU. Now, we know Josh Aldridge has moved on, but guys still wanted to come in and play here on defense here. Give us a quick update on Xavier Atkins' recent Auburn commit.
DJ Durkin special here.
Okay,
the guy's a beast. Guy's a beast on the trail. No, he went into the portal earlier this week, and then like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we kind of perk up. Could this guy have some Auburn interest? You're talking very highly rated. First of all, this is his true freshman year, so he's another young linebacker to add to the room. Very highly rated kid out of high school, and not an overly big guy. He's going to be more of your speedy maybe a passing down coverage type linebacker. But I think the thing is, you remember when the portal first opened, you had Phoenix Jackson that was committed, but is he really committed? Have we accepted his commitment? That kind of thing. The linebacker from Fresno State, and he ends up signing with Baylor. He comes on a visit and he leaves, and you're like, why didn't we take that commitment? Why didn't we get that signed? Like, why didn't you go ahead and get that signature? And I think it's because you had this guy, sort of your eyeballing this guy, and you get him in on a visit. See, today's Thursday. He came in yesterday, and there was a lot of smoke. Hey, I think this could be one of your linebackers that you add. It's funny. We talked about it could happen, and it happens exactly while we're recording. I'm still believe you got to get an older guy for the room, but it's another really, really very extremely talented, extremely fast linebacker that you can add in this very young and talented room. I think this is a big ad. He was the sixth, I think the number 6 rated linebacker in the portal available right now. So another big pickup, another SEC pickup with SEC experience coming to the Plains.
Yeah, I love this. And what I like most on the defensive side of the ball is that they're not missing in terms of their talent evaluation. So there are not a ton of stats to look at here, but I trust what DJ Durkin is seeing here in Xavier Atkins.
Weird thing that happened with him. So, like, again, he was a true freshman. So it looks like I got to check it just to make sure. It looks like he played one snap against Alabama that kind of burned, maybe have burned his red shirt. So he doesn't have a red. He didn't get a red shirt last year. I think he played one game too many. So he'll come in as a true sophomore with a very young and talented room. I just think I don't know. You got a bunch of dudes in that room, man.
You do. Again, defensively, Auburn fielded a top 25 defense. They look to build on that going into 2025. So we love what they're doing there. Before we move on, definitely want to thank our sponsors, Los Amigos Restaurant, Kyle. If you're in the Auburn Opelika area and you're looking for some great Mexican food, check them out at 1220 Fox Run Ave, Suite 200 in Opelika, Alabama. They serve the community in a great way over there. Law enforcement, local politicians, also a great place to go watch the game. Lots of TVs over there, and best of all, great food. Los Amigos Restaurant. Again, check them out at 1220 Fox Run Ave, Suite 200 in Opelika, Alabama. Also, our friends at Manscaped. We're sophisticated men in a sophisticated world. We don't use the same trimmer for our face that we do our balls. Come on, man. What is that? Visit manscaped.com. Use code REPORT to get 20% off plus free shipping. For the boys downstairs, they've got the Lawnmower 5.0. They've got the beard hedger for those of you with a beard, and the electric foil shaver if you like a cleaner shave, which is more up of my alley and yours there. So our friends at Manscaped taking care of you for all your grooming needs. Again, manscaped.com. Use code REPORT to get 20% off plus free shipping. Jumping back in here, Kyle, Auburn is doing a fantastic job on the recruiting trail. Talked with our guy, Daryl Dapprich, about the offensive side of the ball, but we're going to stick with the defensive side of the ball here. Dallas Walker, defensive lineman coming in. Tell me about Dallas Walker.
Man, you had to have that guy in the middle. You had to get one. Unfortunately, you got some young guys that have a lot of promise. You got Jordan Crawford that can come in and play. You got Malik Autry from Opelika. Both very big kids, both probably going to start out right in the middle. But do you want to turn it all over to a true freshman and a true freshman at that position that's just going to take beating after beating? You need that plugger in the middle, and you got him, Dallas Walker. I think they picked him out early. They identified him early, got him in here, and he actually played today in his bowl game. I think that's super freaking cool. He signed this morning. The announcement was signed that he signed was yesterday morning, and then he plays in his bowl game that night for Western Kentucky. To me, that speaks a lot about his character. Hey, I'm going to finish. Number one, dudes are sitting out bowl games left and right. Sometimes, I get it. At some point in time, you got to protect yourself, but dude is playing in a bowl game, 4 tackles from the nose tackle spot, and then he's coming to Auburn. I think that's really cool, and I'm excited at the prospects of this kid coming in and kind of shoring up the very interior of that line. 6'4", 315. Really, really big boy right there in the middle. 21 tackles on the year from the nose tackle spot. It's pretty sporty.
Yeah, it looks like there is a Georgia Tech theme to this portal season for Auburn. They're bringing in safety Tay Seymour, 45 tackles last year at Tech, 28 solo, 17 assisted. Look, I know Auburn is targeting Eric Singleton Jr. as well. But on the defensive side, you've got Tay Seymour at safety. How does he project in your mind in this defense? Where do you place him in the spring in terms of the depth chart?
It's a great question. And hey, he was Eric Singleton's roommate at Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay. There you go. Get them in pairs.
There you go. There you go. Little package deal, maybe. And hopefully we get that announcement here pretty soon, too. No, look, Tay is another guy that I think he's going to be the same age as, I guess, Sylvester Smith. You need that free set. I feel like strong safety. You're going to have to like something tragic's going to happen to Caleb Harris to get him off the field because he's going to be just a stalwart for at that position over the next 2 seasons at minimum. So that free safety, that lurker, who's going to be that guy? And I think you got a bunch of young options. You got Anquan Fagans, maybe even Eric Winters that could play back there. Sylvester Smith, who played a lot last year. But it's just about competition. It's about building depth. I think free safety, that might be that center fielder type player. I think that may be a little bit of the role for him next year. There was 2 safeties that they were really looking at. There was the kid from Jacksonville State who ended up signing with Miami. Yeah. And then there was Tay. And I think maybe I think his last name was Poyser. He was maybe just a half a step, maybe had him evaluated a little bit higher. But it's like, man, what do we do here? It's not like it's just miles difference in these 2 players. We can get Tay right now while he's on campus, and maybe it helps pay off, obviously, with Eric Singleton, and you're getting a really good player. Don't get me wrong. This is not just a get him to get someone else type player. This is a guy that's going to play and probably play a lot next year.
Special teams was a nightmare for Auburn last year.
Yes.
Kyle, kicker, Oscar Chapman's issues at the end of the season were so puzzling. That suddenly started shanking punts. I think he was averaging maybe 30 yards down the stretch.
That A&M game, it almost cost the game. There was 2 that were just god awful.
Awful. But they've addressed that. They're bringing in Hudson Cock at punter. What do you think about Hudson Cock?
I'm not much of a punter guru. I do know I love that he had got a chance to eat at Waffle House for I think the first time, which I think
is
that's
anyone
cool.
A punter guru?
Yeah, right. I'm definitely not a punter guru. But I do know that you only have John Allen McGuire, the guy from Thompson High School, who is one of the best punters in the country, high school punters in the country. But you saw last year, if you bring a high school guy in and you put too much on him too quickly, what could possibly happen? And you could get into a funk with kickers where it's become mental. So again, you bring in a little bit of a more seasoned guy that's got a little bit more experience. Got the Aussie train. You're still keeping this Aussie train rolling.
He's an Australian kicker
with the Australian kicker deal. I think it's a smart move. I'm curious. They're going to bring in. I think they brought in a kicker, an actual place kicker to visit too. I'm not sure if they're going to take him, but they're obviously already got this guy, the punter, signed and ready to go. And I think they'll kind of maybe still play the kicking situation by ear, the place kicking situation by ear.
I'm a John Allen McGuire guy. Very, very close with the McGuire family. I like that kid's talent, but obviously you got to be too deep at every position. So Hudson Cock comes in. Hopefully he doesn't get any kicks blocked there because the jokes will be flying. Kyle, I want to thank you for helping me update Auburn fans on the portal this season. It's going to be a really exciting offseason, I think. I know the season didn't go as planned, but part of the excitement for us is lots of moves need to be made, and we're going to be covering every second of it. Before we get out of here, tell people where they can find all your portal news.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to jump in the portal mega thread. It's getting close. It's touching 300 pages at thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today. We're even working on the ability to be able to gift memberships as well. So we're trying to work that into our platform. That should be releasing pretty soon. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date on all the moving parts. Try to give you an idea on the pathways that these coaches are looking at as far as which ways they're looking to fill out these depth charts. Got some coaching updates as well on the search for the new linebacker coach. So all kinds of stuff. And then obviously you got Basketball Scoop as well. And then you can catch me anywhere you get a podcast, Top Button Podcast.
That's it for another great edition of the Auburn Express, powered by the War Report. If you want more content like this, please hit like and subscribe. We are the War Report on every social media platform. TW Report on TikTok. We're signing off. You can find us right here on the Auburn Express tomorrow. As always, War Eagle.